up, good people? How's it going? Rob here, Old City Vapor, back at you with another episode of Weird Wednesday. Yeah, back to your regularly scheduled programming. How's it going? I'm today, this evening, Wednesday. I am vaping some a new juice, a new flavor from Fusion Vapor. This one is called Captain Bubblebeard. It's not available right now. It's a beta test flavor, and I'm digging it the most. Yeah, they don't need to change anything with this one. It's good like it is, as it sits. Don't change a thing. Release that sucker. Release the Kraken. Release the Bubblebeard. That's what I say. That's what I say. hmm It's good. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Can you guess? Captain Bubblebeard. It's good. I'm going to do a review on it soon, so you'll have to come back and see that. Maybe. Anyways, hopefully. Uh, Today is just going to be a short story. And it's actually not even one of my stories. It's from one of my friends. It's their story. And it happens to be a friend that I play music with. Occasionally. Haven't done it lately. Used to. She's awesome. Love her voice. She plays guitar and sings. And sometimes I accompany her with a little bit of percussion and other stuff. Anyway, it's her story that she told me. And I'll go ahead and tell you right up in front that she's a huge scaredy cat. Uh, Her words, actually. She doesn't like scary movies, doesn't like creepy movies, doesn't like anything creepy, doesn't like the dark, doesn't like anything weird at all. And I'm like, how are we friends? Anyways, after a gig one night of playing with her, she gave me a ride back to my car because if anybody knows about parking in St. Augustine downtown, it's a complete nightmare. It can be expensive, or sometimes you think you're going to get away with it and park here, and then you come back several hours later and your car's gone. It's been towed. Thanks, buddy. Anyway, she'd given me a ride back to my car, and because I let her pay the parking because it was her gig. Anyway, she offered. So, uh, anyways, she gave me a ride back to the car, and we're hanging out, and we're just talking, and she mentioned something, and it got me started on, telling her something weird, and she asked me about a place or something. I don't know how the conversation got started, but anyways, she goes, I have a creepy story, I'll tell you. And I was like, all right, let it roll, sister. And she told me about the first time that she played in St. Augustine, in the ye old city of St. Augustine. It was her first gig here. And she said it was memorable for this reason. Now, if anybody knows about St. Augustine, that's where I live. Lived here for 50 plus years now. And, yep, I'm one of the old town locals. Um, nation's oldest city, one of the most haunted cities in the United States, supposedly. A lot of creepy places here, a lot of old bars, the Milltop downtown St. Augustine, the Trade Winds, the White Lion. A lot of famous musicians have played, these little stages in these little bars. Um, Jimmy Buffett, Tom Petty. I mean, there's all kinds of people that have played here over the years, and still to this day, people just show up randomly, and sometimes walk in at an open mic or whatever, and just sit down and play a tune. Just like 2 weeks ago, Jeff Bridges was here in town, showed up at Stogie's Bar downtown, and hung out. One of my real good friends was playing there. I actually did a video a while back talking about Stogie's being upstairs, going to see my same friend that I just mentioned that was playing there, and what happened upstairs, and it's one of the ghost tour stops, and kooky ghost tours, but they came in and they were talking about how haunted it was upstairs and in the building, and how the bathroom was weird, and so I immediately was like, well, cool, I'm gonna go in the bathroom and lock the door and turn the lights out and just hang out, see what happens. And other than me taking a whiz in the bathroom, I was in there for probably 10 minutes and nothing weird happened, other than if you consider me sitting in the bathroom of an old building in the dark weird. Well, then I guess weirdness happened. Anyway, back to make my short story longer. My friend, who had her first gig here in St. Augustine, was at a place called the White Lion, which is downtown, kind of across from the Bayfront. And it's an old building, been there forever. Always been called the White Lion as long back as I can remember. It's a bar, it's a restaurant, bar and grill. They have music. Tons of famous musicians have played there. Unknowns have played there. I've played there. Talking about unknown. Anyway, that's where her first gig was, and she got there, got all set up. She said there was a pretty good crowd, for her being kind of unknown at the time, and she played her gig, played a set, took a break, came back, played another set, took a break, came back, played another set. The bar closed at 1 a.m. And 12:30 last call, 12:45. People are either trying to get that last drink, or they're leaving. So a bunch of people started kind of filtering out, and there's the few hanger-ons, the couple of dudes hanging out, waiting for that last chance of the night, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, pretty much everybody left. She finished playing the set, and the place was pretty much empty. The few barmaids and cocktail waitresses, they wrapped it up pretty quick, and they split. It was basically down to her and the manager. She was loading her gear up, and when you first start doing gigs, it takes you longer to break down your gear and set your gear up and all. So she was kind of taking her time. The manager was like, hey, no worries, I'm doing some things. And she'd take a load of stuff out, put it in the car, come back, get the speakers, take them out, come back. And pretty much had it down to just her guitar. And she said the manager was like, hey, want one last quick beer before you leave? And she was like, okay. So they sat there and talked and had a beer. And she was like, cool, I figured I'm going to talk to the manager and, maybe he'd, have me come back, or at least put a good word in and say, hey, this chick's cool. We want to have her back, So since she's sitting there talking to him, and as they're talking, they hear this bump come from the upstairs area. And, said it was loud enough, to where they both kind of looked up. And there's like a hole in the ceiling that you can see up into the next, the upstairs part. And it's all dark. All the lights were out, except for right there at the bar area. So I didn't really think anything of it, Old building. If anybody's been in these old buildings in St. Augustine, they're all old wooden buildings, and hardwood floors, and they creak and groan, and any kind of noise seems like it's amplified. So I didn't really think anything about it, and they heard bump, bump. She said it was louder this time, and she was like, is there somebody still here? And he's like, no, it's just you and me, as far as I know. And she said she was kind of like, that's kind of weird sounding. Sounds like somebody's upstairs. And he's like, yeah, it does, doesn't it? And said they're talking there, and she's like, by now I'm pretty much finishing my beer. I'm ready to leave. I'm starting to get the creeps. And so they're talking some more, and they hear this doom, 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 like somebody, not just a noise, but a traveling noise, like somebody was walking across the floor above them. And she was like, okay, you said there's nobody else here, but there's obviously somebody else here walking around upstairs. You need to assess the situation. So he flipped on the light, went upstairs, and there's nobody there. Came back down. She's guitar in hand, ready to haul ass, you know. And it's like, no, there's nobody there, you know. She's like, okay, well, I've had fun. I think I'm going to leave now. And, you know, they chit-chatted for another minute. And this time they heard thump, 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 thump. Like she said, it sounded like somebody was dragging a piano across the floor from the level above them, directly overhead. They looked up in the cutout, you know, up into the second level, and could see nothing but blackness. And she said it was at that very moment that she was like, okay, see you, bye, thanks, and grabbed her check and split. And she was telling me this as we're sitting in a dark car, and she was like, great, now I told you my one creepy story of my whole life, and now I'm too freaked out to sleep without every light on in the house. I'm going to have every light on in the house. And she freaked herself out. I was kind of thinking, well, hey, it was a cool story. Sorry you got to sleep with all the lights on. But that's the way it is, I guess. Anyway. That's my short story from, not really my short story. That's my friend's short story that she relayed to me one night after a gig at probably, I don't know, 1:30 in the morning, as she so kindly gave me a ride back to my car. Anyway, that's all I have, and I'll wrap it up with another vape of this Captain Bubblebeard. Yeah, good stuff. Can't talk and vape, though. Just proved it there. Anyways, thanks for the comments. Thanks for the subscriptions. All you old subscribers hanging out. All you new ones just joining me. Tune back in. There'll be more stuff coming up soon. And there will be a review coming up on Captain Bubblebeard. You guys have a good one. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. See ya.